Good afternoon. Welcome everybody. I'm here to give you a demonstration on how to make the perfect glass of Kool-Aid. Now, for a lot of us, you might be like, wow, really? It seems pretty simple, right? Well, I'll give you an example, okay? When my wife has dinner prepared on the table and the kids are all washed up and they're ready to sit down and eat, first thing they do is look in the glass and they're like, yay, we got Kool-Aid for dinner, right? But the first question that comes out of their mouth is, who made the Kool-Aid, right? Because they know that Dad is King Kool-Aid in the house. And it's not because of the size, by the way, okay? So I don't want to hear any of those comments. But they obviously prefer the way I make Kool-Aid over the way my wife makes Kool-Aid. And I'm going to show you in 4 easy steps how to get that accomplished. Obviously, you got to gather your ingredients. Then you have to mix them and stir them a particular way, the way that I'm going to demonstrate to you today. And then you obviously are going to add ice to make that ice cold Kool-Aid. First ingredients. I use filtered water. We actually have a water purifier, but if you want, you can use bottled water or tap water, but I don't recommend that for the flavor because that throws a variable. Obviously you have Kool-Aid. I prefer red. For some of you that don't know what red is, it's tropical punch. And obviously the ice, okay? After you gather your ingredients, we will measure the actual amounts because everything has to match. The mix has to match the amount of water, right? I've already measured 2 quarts out, so what I have to do now is measure the mix out. Now, the Kool-Aid containers have an actual measuring cup built inside, so you don't have to get a separate measuring cup. I prefer to pour the water first, so that way you don't get the clumps down at the bottom if you add the mix after. So. Now, I have 2 quarts. There's a 2-quart line on the mix cup, so I'll fill it up, and then I'll just kind of level it off a little bit to make sure that it's a straight line. But one of my secrets is that once I get to the 2-quart line, I actually add a little bit more. And that's what my kids like, because once you add the ice, or if you put it in the refrigerator, it starts to dilute a little bit. So I'll just top it off with just a little bit more and add it to my water. So now comes the technical part of the demonstration, the stirring technique, okay? Now, stirring could be easy. Some people shake. I prefer to stir a particular way. What I'll do is I'll turn counterclockwise. I'll try to get a good swirl moving through the actual container, and then I'll just stop and let the spoon kind of break up any clumps. Just let it flow and slow it down, and then I'll turn it around the other way. Stir, and then just let it kind of break up. And then I'll do that twice, once in each direction. Okay, so that's my expert stirring technique. And the last step is probably the most easiest. So if you find that everything else was challenging, this is probably going to be the easiest step for you, is adding the actual ice. Okay? What I prefer to do is put the ice in the cup and pour the Kool-Aid over it, because it cools everything as you're pouring it in, and you have that nice cold cup. But if you're doing a party or an event, you're having friends over, stuff like that, you don't want everybody reaching into the ice. If you don't have an ice dispenser, then you can just add it directly into the Kool-Aid. But I prefer to put it in the cup. And that's what my wife gets to do. She gets to clean up. It's hard to see, but like I said, as it pours over the ice, everything's cold and it's ready to drink. And now I have my perfect glass of Kool-Aid.
Sweet.
So if you follow those 4 easy steps, gather your ingredients, measure the correct amounts, obviously, because you can't make it too sweet or not sweet enough. Stir using my technique, and add in the ice, which I think you, Mr. Armpearson, can handle that last step. You will, too, be called King or Queen Kool-Aid in your house.